Okay, so let's start. Now, I'm directly going to jump into Illustrator. And with this, I would just want to tell you that this is seeming to be, of course, every designer has their own um, likes and way of working around things. For me specifically, and I believe a lot of the graphic designers tend to do logo design specifically on Illustrator because it seems to be a lot more easier, convenient. You have a lot of control over the software, the design, the angles, and all of those aspects. So makes more sense. So that's why obviously starting with Illustrator. And here's the logo that we're going to present today. And the theme that we're going to go ahead with is going to be bakery. So it's all about food and everything. And obviously we'll have a little bit of sense or theme of Valentine because that's tomorrow. So now I'll start immediately with one of the very hit features that we have in Illustrator. For a lot of people who do not know about this yet, it is called a mockup feature. So mockup feature has been introduced about almost a year ago and has only improved in the days that have come. Even in Max, we have had an update about it, saying that now we have worked better with regards to how it works on the fabric, right? So here is something that I would believe that all of the designers would definitely want to consider, where you would need a mock-up in some way or the other to showcase your branding and take it forward in that manner. So here's what you have to do. You have your Illustrator or a vector file, any vector file you have created or you have borrowed or whatever be the reason. Now, this file needs to go on top of a raster image. Your raster image can be a PNG or JPEG. Just collect the two, select the two, and then you just go to object, then you go to mockup, and you say create mockup. Just like that, now we will be able to impose or put across our branding or any kind of graphic style that you have created on in a vector format onto the subject that you have. This is just an example, but of course it can be on various things. You know, it can even be a tattoo on a skin, or it can be um, a logo on a bottle, or probably even a graphic on your t-shirt. Anything at all that you can think of, which will obviously connect with your branding. There is also something interesting that comes up on the right-hand panel that you see, which is called a mock-up. And here you get a few templates ready in case if you need more. So say, for example, now I have created it specifically for my packaging for the bakery product. But say I need a logo for the bags that they're going to carry, or probably even have a card in place. I will be able to take up any of these things, click on it, instantly I'll get this image out, and I'll be able to work with that also and create my entire branding in place, just like that. And of course, there are more options that you'll be able to see here. You'll be able to see that you have apparel where you'll be able to put across, say, for example, you're creating this branding where you'd want even the employees to wear a certain kind of clothes, or maybe it's just for an event. You would want to see how it looks on your digital platform. You can even check that out. Now, what is happening here is it's not showing that well because I've gone for the multiply mode. Now, you can obviously keep it in the format that'll work best for you, but considering this is a digital platform, it's not showing that well, except for the last one. You'll be able to see the logo here, and it'll pretty much give you an idea of how the entire thing looks. So here you see it's actually given me even for the packaging the way I would want it to look like, right? So instant references for you, instant placing for you, making your life a lot more easier and convenient. This is something that is quite a crucial thing, especially when you're talking about branding. Now, you might just say, hey, you have just put this image with a multiply mode on an image. So how does it even work as a, mock-up? Well, it does, and it does a very good job. So if you see, it's actually worked with the bends of the specific subject that I have, and it works with the perspective or the dimension of the object that you have in place. So this makes it a lot more thrilling for designers, because I feel that we all would love to see how our, the work is coming out on your end product. And it actually, for some reason, understands the subject or the photograph or the image that you have really well. So here you'll be able to see that even bends through onto your object and works with that. And it also tends to work on the perspective. Now, this is what I mean by perspective. There you go. instantly it understood that was a table, and it's actually taken that into consideration. So this makes a immense impact on how you'd want to, showcase your design. And you can actually put it on any surface that you want, and you'll be able to see the result. So I believe there was somebody who raised a hand. You can just type your question. We'll try and answer it. Um, yeah, I believe there's a question from Kunal. Let me just see. Have you typed in your question, Kunal? If you could just do that, it'll be great, and we will be able
Actually, you
to.
can continue the session. We'll take care of the questions.
Fantastic. Thank you, Vidushi. So there you go. We have amazing team here. Yaman and Vidushi are also from my team, and they are helping me out really well. So there you go. Now this is how you can actually go ahead and create your entire brand with regards to the logo falling in place with your images that you'd want it as your end product. And this was what I was talking about when I said that it has been enhanced or made even better in this Max, which is in November, when they have actually ensured that the product is now having a very good understanding of the folds and the creases of the fabric, and this very specifically asked for fabric, I believe, because this is one of the features which is used a lot by designers, and you obviously know why. So we have worked on it and we have enhanced our features really well, and now it's doing even better than before. So this is what you have here. And as I can show you, it actually works around with all the creases and gives you the right folds and everything of that sort. So does a great job. So you can see it. You can also edit it. It's 100% editable at any given point of time. You can change the colors if you want. You can tweak it. All you have to do is you have to just double click it and you'll actually enter the space. It'll ask you a question and then you can actually go ahead and change things. So say, for example, I don't want this part. I can remove it. Doesn't make any difference. It fits in well in the space that I want it to. I can even change colors or do anything else, probably even add a text if I want. All of that is possible and creates the brand that you would want it to. So, considering the fact that I told you that this is going to be a little bit of a Valentine special also, so we'll just go ahead and add our logo onto our bottle, which will be our theme for the day, where we are going to say, we are planning to launch this specific product. And in this product, I already have this image, I've got it from stock. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and add this logo here and ensure that it falls into my entire packaging or my branding, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and do this and keep it ready for later. I'll come to that eventually. Now, this is one of the most fascinating features, and for branding, it definitely is something which is bang on. It is very helpful, very useful, and there you go. I'm just going to make it a little more curved out so it looks quite natural, but yeah, I'd probably keep it here instead of just make it completely. Or I could actually have it on this also, but no, maybe here, this is better. So there you go. My product image is ready, and I don't need the whole thing. So I'll probably save it in this format, right? And I'm going to save it as my file, just a mock-up bakery jar. Okay. So this is done, right? Now, this is one part of the whole branding exercise, right? Now, there are a lot of other things that will also fall into place. Now, say, for example, you have a lot of ads that you have created around it. Now, you would want these ads to be obviously synchronized and in the same theme. And there are a lot of times when you kind of fall in love with that one style of illustration and you would want to continue with that same style, and then it gets a little challenging. And then that is where you just want to understand key to get back to that same Illustrator. If you have gone ahead and worked with an Illustrator, might not always work out for you. And there are times when you have just downloaded some ready assets like this one, for example. This is downloaded from Adobe Stock again. But There are tweaks. Your client needs something special. You have to give a different style altogether, right? Like not a style, but a different product altogether. And at those times when you find it challenging, you also want to ensure that it's working smoothly for you. And that's where we are trying to help you with the features of text to vector, where you can have the complete liberty of using the specific art form and work around with the same style. So what I mean by saying that is, say for example, here I want to create lemon cake, lemon tart cake, because that's the ask that I have got, and I want to ensure that it works similar to what I have in my existing set of ads or campaign. So I can now choose a few things here, which is now I'm doing a text to image format. By the way, all you have to do is you have to just grab the rectangle tool, place it on, and immediately you'll get this option. You can also get this option from Windows. And there you go, you have options for scene, subject, and icon. Of course, I don't want an icon, I don't want that simplified. And I don't want a scene because I don't want to sit and make a whole table and everything. I just want that cake to get replaced. So say, for example, this cake, I just want to replace this cake with another one. So I'm just going to go ahead and select subject here. I can choose the amount of details I want on it. And then I can choose a reference. Now, this makes your life a lot more easier, right? Because now if I just go ahead and select this specific style, saying, okay, I want this specific style to be worked around with, and then I go and also ask for it to generate. Now it'll understand the specific style and work with that. So while it does that, slow and try again. Okay, so it will be able to do that. Unfortunately, I'm finding a little bit of an internet issue. Let me just retry once again. And if it doesn't, then I'll try and do another thing. Hoping that works. So what happens here is you get a lot of liberty. You will not really struggle with those last minute changes that you're getting, wherein a special request has come and you cannot say a no to. And this makes things a lot more easier for you. So there you go. I have my cake in place. And as you see, I've got variations also. I can choose between these. Or if I want to make extra changes, I can always add a lot more text and make it a lot more effective or specific to what the request or the requirement is. There is also this icon that you get, which is a settings icon, which gives you a bigger window of the same, but it also gives you some points for inspiration. So as you see here, you'll be able to get inspired with whatever has been created by other people. And in case if you like those kind of styles, you can now go ahead and work with that. Another interesting thing that you have is you have something called as color and tone. So say for example, you are using only four colors for your specific brand requirement and you would want to maintain that or have that consistency. You can always choose the image and work with that, but it's not necessary that you'll get all the four colors. And you want to be precise about it, you can simply go and choose as many as you want here. And then you can specify the colors that you want. And once you're done that, you'll be able to generate an image based on that. And that's how it gets a lot more in your control. Absolute pure vector arts can be extended to any size you want and can be tweaked to any length you want. Makes your life so easy and interesting as well. Now, this is where I had taken the reference of images from a vector style. Again, everything here was in vector format itself. So you might just wonder, key, is it only going to work with vectors? No, not at all. This is an image again. So if I go to this image and I show you another style altogether, let me just do that for you. Say, for example, I ask it to make a muffin, maybe a red velvet muffin. And now I have to choose my style, reference style, and it's still showing the previous one. I delete that. Now it will continue to show that reference style every time you open your file as well, if you have saved it that way. So just ensure that you are, whenever you're generating something new, just have a look at the reference ones, and otherwise you might just, have an extra click to go through. So though we don't want to, upset you at all. So just ensure that you have done that and you will be able to get a result based on that specific ask or requirement. So here I have a specific style that I've seen, which has a lot of black outline and works around with that. Maybe sometimes in case if you want such detailed stuff, you might want to add those things even on your prompt. Ask it for, I want black outlines. I want these kind of colors. I want a little bit of a hand sketch format. Those details will definitely make it a lot more specific or as per your expectation. And there you go. My illustration style is matching now and it's working with this and it's given me options for this. So again, something which is very easy, very smooth, and it's not going to stop me from my work, right? I will be able to go ahead and finish the expected time without having any deadlines hampered. Again, in case if you want to go ahead and do tweaks or changes, you want it to you want this specific thing to pop out a lot more or be a lot more mellowed down. You can do those things obviously with the colors, but you have something called as generative fill. Now, generative fill will allow you to go ahead and write a prompt and get results in a preview format as well. And it's very fast. So you don't really have to take a lot of time for the processing part of it. So say, for example, now I say bright reds and vanilla. Now, what it'll do is it'll understand any kind of prompt, and this is the beauty of this specific style. It allows you to even write the name of a song, and it'll give you results based on that. So you can actually choose whichever color is soothing you, and then work with that, and instantly you're getting the results. You're not even sitting and changing the colors with the hue saturation and all of that. You can simply just do this from here, or even add colors here, and get the results as per what your needs are. So this is one thing which is new and definitely something which you would want to work around with, especially if you do a lot of vector art. Definitely helpful. Now here I have a few sketches, right? And there are two things that I'll talk about right now. One is the image trace format, which has been very enhanced at this point. The image that I'm showing you at this point is not that complicated, but you can go ahead and do amazing tracing and the results are really good. You also have gradient as well as other features which have come here. So you can just go to image trace panel and you will see advanced, which will give you all the options possible. And you can see it for yourself, explore this. It's really good in case if you have any images to trace, it works beautifully. Two things that I really like about this specific enhancement in image trace. One of them is the fact that we have something called as gradient now, and gradient will be seen when I do a high fidelity photo. The moment I do that, it'll allow me to, it'll show me this thing called as gradient. Again, works beautifully. It, caters to the gradients of tracing of any image that you have. And the second one that I really, really like is the fact that you have an option for transparency. So say, for example, you're tracing an image which is in a PNG format, does not have a background. You can now go ahead and ask for a transparency, and it'll give you the image without that white background. Again, that becomes a challenge to a lot of us when we trace an image with transparency because it tends to take up all the white. And when you expand and try removing those, it gets a little irritating. So these are a few features. In case if you have not tried it, do try it. Image trace, advanced features are really cool. Now, coming back to our image, we had a sketch, and that sketch has been now converted into our um, vector format. And in my vector format, I'm just going to go ahead and expand this. Now, after expanding this, I'm going to show you one new feature which has been launched which has been which has been launched in Max updates, which is basically, one second. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so which is generate shape fill. Now, what generate shape fill is doing is, if I just go ahead and create a box, it usually tells me generate vector, right? So what it's doing is it's taking that entire space that I'm giving it and it's creating something based on my ask. But next to that, you see something called as generate shape fill. So what it's going to consider here is that it'll take the entire shape. So as you saw even in the previous one, when I said a muffin, it gave me a shape of a muffin inside that box, right? But say, for example, I want a specific shape inside which I want a creation done, be it a heart, be it a croissant, whatever it is, you can take that shape and then ask it to create something in that specific shape and it'll create that image for you. So here I'm just going to try and take the donut and I'm going to say um, choco chip donut, and let's see what it does. Now, I believe it has taken a little more than what I was wanting it to take, but let me see what it's doing. If that is the case, then I'll have to just separate it out and then redo that. But it is able to capture or understand that there's a different shape now, and I would want to suggest a generative shape fill. There you go. I have got everything in a donut format because everything was selected. Just a second. Yeah. So there you go. I'll just try making the cake in that case. And I'll say choco chip pastry. And that's it. So now it's going to just work around with that specific shape and give me the results based on those lines. So it can be anything that is even hand drawn for that matter. And that's the reason why I've shown you this image here specifically. So you can choose to, work around with whatever your creative imagination takes you for and take it to the next level. So let's see what it's doing here. And then post that, I would want to show you something else also. So again, as I had told you earlier, this has taken into consideration the illustration style that I had mentioned earlier. So if I didn't want that, I would just have to remove this and retry it, and it'll be able to give me a result based on that. But right now, this is what my result has come up as. And I have variations also. So as you can see, I'll be able to check and choose the one that works for me. So these are two of the really cool features that I wanted to show in Illustrator. Now from Illustrator, let me just take you to Photoshop and see what we can do in Photoshop, right? So in Photoshop, we have the generative workspace, which is a feature which is again very much integrated to Firefly. Firefly Web gives you pretty much the same features, but you can now have it in Photoshop Beta. You can open it here and see it for yourself. There are two variations or two formats in which you can see the results or the outputs. If I just go for the timeline view, you'll be able to see all my creations are here, and I can choose any image that I want and immediately start working on it directly on Photoshop. Now, for this specific theme, I would want to go for something like a podium, right? And I have a prompt written here for me. Let me just quickly take that and see what it's doing. Okay, there you go. Now, okay, start taking it. All right, so I want to make a podium for my jar that I have talked about previously. And I want to make it with a little bit of this Valentine effect. So I would say a podium with roses and pastel colors for food product and on a wooden platform, wooden base. Okay. Now, um, how is it similar to the web platform? It gives you everything that you have in the web Firefly web space, where you can actually upload an image and have your composition based on that. You can also choose amongst the existing formats that we have already put there, the default ones which are there, you can choose from there as well. This is for the composition part of it. We also have it for style, where you can also choose to upload an image from there, or you can choose to browse through the files or the reference images that we have and work with that. So you can just look at it for yourself and see which one works for you. So maybe I'll go for this one because I'm looking at a podium any which ways. And I choose this and I keep this aside. And then you also have the effects, which are usually at the left-hand side panel in our web platform, and you can choose a photo or an illustration or an art style, and then go for the effects that you want and work with those things. So all the options that are there in a web are available here, except for a few. I'll talk about those also. What is different in Photoshop Beta is the fact that we have something called as add variable. Now, what it means is that you're brainstorming. You want to at least come up with 5 options and show them all to your client or the decision maker and get it approved as soon as possible. In those cases, I can simply add a variable. So say, for example, the podium with roses and pastel colors for food product on a wooden base. Now, say, for example, I want this wooden base to be a variable, right? I want to just ensure that not just a wooden base, I would want to try it on a glass, I would want to try it on a marble, and so on and so forth. So I want all these ideas just in one go, and I want it really fast. How do I go and do that? Now, instead of generating that 4 images, it's actually multiplied it into 3, and now I'm getting 12 instant references or images. And that's how I'm able to create my mood board. I'm also able to create variations that I can instantly show to my decision makers and take it forward, or even for myself for that matter. I'll be able to now take it forward with that specific ideas and just have a go on to understanding which is working best for me. So this is what it does. And the difference between this and Firefly Web, of course, there are a lot of uh, variations that are possible. It's taking a little time for generating. Just give me a second, please. So there you are. My product has now gotten these podiums in place and have generated it twice. So a lot of sets come here. There you go. I can beautifully see the variations that I have and choose the one that's working for me really well. Right? There's a glass one. Now I have the marble one. Then I have the wood one. So all the power in our hand. Just be as creative as you want to, and go crazy. So here I have all these variations. I like this one. I can just go ahead and immediately open it because it's all happening inside Photoshop itself. So life becomes a lot more easier for me, right? Now, remember the image that we had created where we just went ahead and made one jar image? So I'll just try and drag that image here. There you go. Sorry. Now I can simply add this image here and go ahead and create variations around it. Now this is one way of doing this, right? But again, there is a lot of differences, contrast difference. I have to remove the background. I have to make sure that everything matches and merges really well and works exactly as beautifully as it feels like this is exactly where it was shot. Now that'll take me a lot of time to do. But instead of doing that, I can now go ahead and try doing that on my web platform. This is the Firefly web, right? I can just go ahead and try doing this here. So let me just try and pick up the same line that I have used for my generation. So I'll just go to my workspace and I'll just click on that. So I know exactly what it was. Okay. I like the wooden one. So I'll just take this. I'll go to my web place. I'll write the same thing, although I just want the wooden one. Or should I go for the marble one? Let's just go for the wooden one right now. And there you go. Now it'll be able to generate the image for me here. So how is it different? Well, you have something called as object here, object composite. Now, this is something which comes with a specific SKU. Maybe all of you might not have this, but it's a great tool to have, especially if you're working on a lot of things which have object compositions needed. So it's asking for a specific size. Let me just try and see this. Yeah, there you go. So here's my image. I'll have to just remove the background. I'm not going to be working on those things. I'm just simply going to add this here and I say confirm. So now I have my product in place. but I will just ensure that it's falling onto my podium the way I would want it to. And I say generate. So now it'll work with this product in place and it'll create a podium around it. So the lighting will be taken care of, the shadows will be taken care of. All of those headache that I had to go through to ensure that was, fitting in beautifully will not be a challenge for me. And I would have to change this because my podium is looking a little off. Pastel colors for, okay, I will have to change this part on. So it will now generate the images based on this specific ask, and it will be able to create that entire. See, if you even notice these images, it's giving me the shadow as per my expectation, right? Now, this is also kind of try to create a food product for me, but okay, let me just remove the wooden base. So it works around very beautifully. It will be able to generate different things around it and place the specific object that you want onto your image, onto your ask for a background, and make sure that it works really the way you would want it to. Here's my images, and it's given me the variations that I would want. So there you go. This is what is possible. But again, this is only possible for a few SKUs. It's not there for everybody. And then you can obviously go ahead and do expand and work around with various things around it. So say, for example, this is an image that I had created with the help of the generative workspace itself. And then I had gone ahead and expanded that and created an entire space for the entire ad based on my, expected sizes that I would want to have it for my end result. Added my logo on, and then I had my entire text in place. With all of this together, now I was able to have my entire ad created in a GIF, and it didn't take me too much of a time, and I was able to do it just with a few clicks here and there. So in case if you need to create any of these things, you will be able to do that really well. And this is all that we had to show you with regards to the branding part of it, where you can use Photoshop, Illustrator, and Firefly together and create all these various designs and assets. So let me know what you think and let me know if there are any questions at all, and I would be happy to help.